Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys a brand new Clash Royale video. And inside of this video, I'm going to show you guys how I got to the #1 spot inside of the world. And if you take a look at the leaderboard right now, it says that I'm number 2, but of course there was an error with King's Toys trophies to where they weren't reset from the last season. It has been fixed since then, and I was able to take the #1 spot using the Royal Giant strategy that I've been telling you guys about. It is the best Royal Giant strategy inside of the entire game. It's really fun to use, and if you guys practice it enough, you'll get the hang of it about how to play the cards and in what order you're going to play them against. So starting off, I'm going to be playing a bunch of people inside of In the Light. They are the #1 clan in the world, and I'm pretty sure at one point I played them for maybe 8 of my last 10 battles, just because there's so many of their guys near the top, obviously being the #1 plan. So starting off against Lost, let's go ahead and get going with an Elixir Pump, our Spear Goblin Hut, and then see what he has to do in response. Now, of course, he's going to be playing the Princess, and if you take a look at his deck, he's running a deck that's extremely common, where you try to bait out someone's arrows. So he saw my arrows win on the Princess. Of course, he doesn't know that I have the Fireball to counter both the Hog Rider as well as the Minion Horde. So overall, we didn't take too much damage right there for all the Elixir that he invested in that push, but still, things are looking okay, and he hits me with another Goblin Barrel for the 3rd straight unit that I was supposed to arrow. So having the Princess, having the Minion Horde, having the Goblin Barrel, I have to save at least one of my arrows or fireballs for one of those troops. Obviously, having 3 of those compared to my 2, it's going to be pretty annoying to deal with, but still, let's go ahead and make a little bit of a push down the left-hand side. We've got the Royal Giant, we've got a couple of Spear Goblins making their way there, and I'm thinking if I use my Spear Goblins against the Minion Horde, I should be okay. So if I had to sacrifice my arrows against anything, I'd probably use it against the Princess as well as the Goblin Hut, and then use the Minion Hordes or use the Spear Goblins to take care of the Minion Horde. Okay, so it looks like the Hog Rider's going down right now. I've got the cannon to counter that. Fireball's an even elixir trade with that Goblin Barrel right there. So far, so good. We did profit 1 elixir from that. He's going to play a Princess right up front. Not the best move, but he's going to follow it up with a zap in just a second, but it's about a ½ second too late right there. And because of that, that was actually a pretty significant waste of elixir. Take a look at the elixir count. I've got 7 and he's got 3, now 4, but I'm pumping an extra elixir every 7 seconds now with my elixir pump. So he's really far behind as far as elixir goes. I'm going to start pumping up a bunch of free Spear Goblins down the left-hand side. I've got another elixir pump going down right now. And at this point, I pretty much snowballed this game. And by snowballed, I mean I've gotten such a big control as far as elixir goes that it's going to start getting out of control. Just like, you know, when a snowball goes down a hill, the snowball gets bigger and bigger. My lead is just going to get bigger and bigger because of those elixir pumps. And seeing as we're both full on elixir, yet I have another elixir pump, I still have that Goblin Hut going crazy. We're going to start making a huge push down the left-hand lane. And let's see how we can work this out. Now, he does have that Minion Horde right there, and I was trying to draw my troops a little bit quicker. The Royal Giant came out a little bit late. We've got the Fireball going down right there, the cannon to distract the Hog Rider, arrows onto the Goblin Hut. You can see he's running a deck that makes it so I have to respond really quickly. But now we can take a look at all of the troops I have going down the left-hand lane. I've got the Royal G, I've got the Spear Goblins going. He has to play a Princess to respond to the Spear Goblins. And now that our Royal Giant's shooting down that tower, it's down to 18 HP. I dropped my Fireball and missed, so I said oops. I didn't mean to BM him, because a lot of people say oops when they win, but my Fireball was actually going to miss the tower, which is why I said oops. So good game to Lost. I didn't mean to drop the oops as BM. But anyways, let's go ahead and go into the next member of In the Light, where we're going to be playing Seda Dragon, and he's usually one of their highest ranked players, I believe. At least when I was doing this climb, I think he was the highest ranked player from In the Light. And if you take a look at the strategy he's using this Hog Rider, Musketeer, Valkyrie combo that seems to be really strong towards the top, but for some reason I haven't been able to get a hang of it. I tried playing it on stream yesterday, and it really didn't work out too well for me. I've got the cannon to distract the Hog Rider. Of course, he's still holding on to that free spell, and if you look at my Goblin Hut placement, I use that so when the Hog Rider kills the cannon, it's going to go over to the hut. He ends up wasting 4 elixir on a free spell, though, so I instantly dropped a well played. I've got the Spear Goblins going down the left-hand lane. He's going to drop some skeletons to help out. But it looks like my Royal Giant should be able to get a pretty significant amount of chunks off on that left-hand tower because he's just so unbelievably tanky, and he's going to take it all the way down to 1945 HP. We've still got Spear Goblins rolling down the lane. He plays another Elixir Collector in the top right, so we're going to counter with our own Elixir Collector on the bottom right, and if he played a quick Hog Rider there, he might have been able to take advantage of us, but since we did play that pump so fast that we started getting a pretty good profit, let's go ahead and play our Cannon, and now that we're getting back to our Barbarians, We can drop that in just a moment, and he doesn't have enough elixir for the freeze. He had it in his hand, and if he tried to play it, I think his Hog Rider still would have died. So now he has to counter me on the right. Notice how I play Spear Goblins on the left as soon as I see that Valkyrie, trying to get a little bit more of an advantage. He does have some nice skeletons right there, but we're just really slowly chipping him down with this deck. Now, he's not into double elixir just yet, so that Royal Giant is going to lock onto the tower right there, and that's going to be the first tower down for the game, and this one is looking pretty convincing so far. We got a nice lead as far as our Spear Goblins as well as our elixir pumps went, and then we sort of just played our Royal Giant at the right moment. With this deck, you guys don't want to play the Royal Giant in the very beginning. You want to start getting some elixir collectors down, get some of your Spear Goblin huts down, and then once you make a nice defense, let's say against a Hog Rider or your opponent's Royal Giant, then you can just go ahead and do a big push with your Royal Giant, and by then you should have a bunch of Spear Goblins. You can place down your Barbarians, and you can do a nice push down their lane, and you should be able to grab the win. Now I'm going to play a Royal Giant in the very center to get some damage going on. He's of course going to play his cannon right in front of it. You can't use your cannon to redirect the Royal Giant once it's already been placed. You can't like shove it out of the way with a cannon or anything like that, so we definitely will get some guaranteed damage. But at this point, 8 elixir inside of our pocket. We've got 30 seconds left in the battle. Really not too much he can do right here. He's still doing that same push with the Valkyrie, Hog Rider, as well as Musketeer. I think it works against a lot of decks, but against this deck right here, it hasn't been too successful in the things that I've seen. If you do make a mistake against the free spell, then someone running this deck can beat you, but you just have to make sure you time your cannons right, make sure you time your Barbarians right to make sure that you can take out the Hog Riders. So end of the game right here. I dropped the Fireball against my own King Tower. Just joking around with him. He's going to freeze me back. So good game against Seda Dragon, and that was another pretty solid victory. So this is a really common deck right now, the Hog Rider, Valkyrie, and Musketeer. And if you guys are trying to find a way to counter it, of course the deck I'm playing right now is really good against it. So let's go ahead and get into one more battle against Boss Hog. Really one of the most fun one of the most fun players to emote against. And let's start off with an elixir pump in the center. Now the elixir pump in the center is pretty dangerous, but sometimes it's the only card you can play. The cards that I would start off using this deck would be 1, the elixir collector, 2, the goblin hut, or 3, the Royal Giant. Or also you can play the Spear Goblins. So those are the 4 cards you can play in the very beginning. Normally I'd want to get either the Spear Goblin hut down or get the elixir collector down, but the elixir collector can be pretty risky if your opponent's smart and plays against it wisely. Taking a look right here, we've got a push going down the left. However, Boss Hog does have the mini P.E.K.K.A. in his hand, which a lot of people see as one of the best counters in the game against the Royal Giant. You can see how quickly it tore through it, and with the cannon and the mini P.E.K.K.A. together, they were able to take it down. But still, I've got a massive elixir advantage right now. I've got a full goblin hut right there, which is pretty much worth 10 elixir, or 5 elixir, sorry. Plus, I have about 5 inside of my hand. He only has 2. And as that goblin hut takes one more hit from the Valkyrie, we're still going to be a-okay going into the rest of this battle. And we've finally taken a little bit of a chunk down the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and pump up with our elixir pump again and get ready for that Hog Rider push. So right now I'm prepping for a Hog Rider coming in, so you can see I'm going to drop my cannon right away. I'll also see what else I can drop. I was considering dropping my Spear Goblins, but he might have just been able to zap those. You can see he was actually hovering the zap inside of his hand, waiting for my Spear Goblins, so it's actually pretty fortunate that I played the Fireball right there instead. And he doesn't have, you know, he doesn't have Barbarians or anything else that I would want on a Fireball, so that actually worked out really well for me. He's actually going to end up poisoning my Elixir Collector as well as my tower right there. For an interesting play, so we're going to follow with our Royal Giant and start making a bit of a push. Now, Valkyrie, of course, is a great counter to the Barbarians. Look at those Barbarians. They're just trying to run through the Royal Giant right there and not really doing too much, but still we're going to get a good amount of damage against the tower. But again, time for a counter push and time for us to play our cannon in the very center of our base. Now, he doesn't play the Hog Rider, and at this point I'm a little bit worried because he could play the Hog Rider once my cannon dies, but he's actually going to play it right now. He tried to do a bit of a pig push to get his Hog Rider to go straight towards my tower, but it didn't work out. Instead, the Hog Rider goes to the cannon that was already there, and by this point he's made a big mistake. He has to drop a poison over there. We've got the Royal G running down the left-hand side, or the Royal GG, as Twitch Chat likes to call it. And now we're going to play another pump, get ready for another push down the left-hand lane. And by the time we get to our next rotation, I feel like we should be able to take this game depending on what happens. Okay, so Spear Goblins onto the Hog Rider. Valkyrie's going to go down as well. He's got his own Spear Goblins, doing a little bit of damage to my tower, but really not too much to be worried about. Let's go ahead and play another Goblin Hut right here, and of course kill his Princess with our arrows in just a moment. Another push with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. down the right-hand lane. We can play our Barbarians. We're really not too worried about the Valkyrie. I know that she'll do some good damage, but there goes another poison spell, so he must be pretty elixir broke right now. So we can go ahead and drop our Spear Goblins. We can drop our Fireball in just a moment. That's going to take out the cannon as well as those Spear Goblins, and with our Royal Giant locking onto the tower, that should be game in just a moment, and we can drop our arrows to make sure that that's the case. All right, well, arrows weren't even needed. It's going to take it out no matter what for a 1 crown to 0 victory. We ended up just whittling him down slowly but surely, and as soon as we capitalized on some of those poison plays, we were able to get the victory. But yeah, that was pretty much it for these battles, and overall, a pretty successful shot to the top to get number 1. I actually won 12 straight battles to get to number 1 in the world. I've been winning a lot during this season using this deck. Again, I feel like this deck is super strong, so feel free to try it out. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below, and that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.